Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video will be the Crystal Palace 2022-2023 season review. Before we start, please subscribe if you are new. Thanks. So let's get straight into it, beginning with what was a mess of a pre-season. The club announced it would go on a tour to Singapore and Australia, playing pre-season games against Leeds, Liverpool, and Manchester United. The issue with this was that a mix of youth players and first-team players went, leaving half the first team at home to play pre-season games against the likes of Millwall and Accrington Stanley. I don't know why the club thought splitting the team up for pre-season was a good idea, but it certainly showed as the season opener versus Arsenal just looked a mess. Although it was good experience for many young players, the senior players should be prioritized, and separating them was a big mistake. This is where the season first went wrong, and you never know, our season could have been different if it wasn't for little things like this. Now let's move on to the first half of the season, before the World Cup break. We were definitely going below expectations, with stupid losses to Chelsea, Everton, and Forest. We went into the World Cup break with just 5 wins in 14 games. Unacceptable when you look at our squad, a group of players who should be regularly winning games. So it was disappointing. However, there were some positives, such as new signing Cheick Doucouré performing brilliantly. We also crashed out of the Carabao Cup on penalties to Newcastle, which was disappointing as we never go on a good cup run in the League Cup, and Vieira's team selection for that game was abysmal. It was like he just threw away a potential cup run. Moving on to the World Cup break, for once we actually had the squad together for friendlies in Turkey against Trabzonspor, Napoli, Botafogo, and Valladolid. Then came the return of Premier League football after the World Cup break, and here's when our season really took a turn for the worst. Beginning with a complete head-loss performance in a 3-0 loss to Fulham on Boxing Day, where we had 2 players sent off. To put it into perspective, we hadn't even had a red card before this game since last year's Boxing Day. Then landed an awful January transfer window. It took us all the way to deadline day to make 2 signings, both midfielders, in Hamada and Lokonga. While these 2 were great additions to the team, we needed so many more signings, and these next few months proved this. New Year's Eve saw us beat Bournemouth 2-0, but it would be Vieira's final win as Palace manager, because it was then 4 months of dreadful draws and losses week in week out. We crashed out of the cup to Southampton, conceded 4 to Tottenham, the team just given up. The only good thing to come out of this period was Olai's late equaliser versus United. It was the loss to rivals Brighton for the first time in years that was the last straw for the board, who then decided to sack Vieira. No one was playing for the shirt. It was almost like the team wanted him gone. Once Vieira was at last sacked from head coach, it sparked a debate as to whether or not it was too late. We were tipped to go down at this point, and the man who was favourite to come in was 75-year-old Roy Hodgson. I speak for all Palace fans when I say this was the worst possible news to hear, and we all were prepared to be going on away days to Plymouth after this. Once Hodgson was appointed, he was set to have his first match against Leicester at home. We went 1-0 down and all thought it was the end to our spell in the Premier League, until a own goal and a late winner from Mateta brought us the best moment of this season. The limbs were incredible and we had our first win since New Year's Eve. The next game was away to Leeds, which ended in a 5-1 win. We hadn't ever scored 5 goals under Vieira. Hodgson had revolutionized the whole team and everyone was playing so much freely and better. Following his first loss, against Wolves, wins against Southampton, West Ham, and Bournemouth meant that we had secured safety in fantastic style. Eze was playing the best football of his career and was awarded with the England call-up. It's been the best few months to be a Palace fan in a long time. So now it's time for my awards. Firstly, starting with the main one, which is Player of the Season. I have decided it was down to 3 players. Iber Eze, Cheick Doucouré, and Marc Guéhi. Eze I unfortunately don't think has been consistent. He only began playing well when Hodgson arrived. Because of this, I have given my Player of the Season to Marc Guéhi for his outstanding performances consistently all season. However, honourable mention to Doucouré for approaching his first ever Palace season and being one of our most important players, winning everything in midfield. Next is Young Player of the Season, who I have given to Michael Olise. He has improved so much since last season to the extent where top clubs such as PSG want to sign him. I am not sure whether he will stay at us, but he has been top class all season, and reminder, he is only 21. What a signing he was and what a player he has been this season, especially since Vieira Next up is Most Improved Player of the Season. I would have given it to someone like Elise, but I will try to do separate players, therefore my Most Improved Player of the Season award goes to Eza. Although he has only sprung to light in recent months, he suffered a long leg injury which ruled him out on the sidelines for an 8-month period at some point in the last couple seasons, so his comeback has been excellent, even to earn an England call-up. Without him we may have not won the games that we did under Hodgson, so he takes a lot of credit for our safety and spot in the Premier League for next year. In terms of the Most Disappointing Player of the Season award probably goes to Edouard and Mateta. Both of them just haven't been as clinical as they should be, and it has really costed us at times. Maybe you could argue Vieira is at fault for this, but even last season they both struggled to find the net on a regular basis. Assuming they both stay with us, I hope they find form next season, as they both have potential to be top strikers. Now for the match of the season, which has got to be the Leicester win. Ironically, it was Mateta who won it for us, and it bought us the best limbs all season, as well as hope that we will stay up with Hodgson at the helm. It was close between this and the Leeds 5-goal triumph, but the fact we hadn't won in 4 months prior to this, the match of the season must go to the Leicester home game. So now that is it for the season. As an overall rating, I would give it a 6. It's a shame Vieira didn't work out, but the fact we got Premier League safety is the most important thing. For the summer we need to bring in at least a right back and maybe a striker. Depending on if Zaha leaves, we should replace him too. Hodgson will probably stay, so it's interesting to see what happens, as Parish probably trusts him more than Vieira. Hopefully the squad also actually stays together for pre-season. So thanks for watching this season review. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video if you did. Bye.